Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama here on Twitch and on Twitter. I've got my big brother with me as always. That's Travis, aka Goose the Truth. And over there is Kadeem, fellow Hashira, fellow Pillar. That is Black by Nature 66 on Twitter. And today we have a special guest who I'm excited to share with you guys, because that's my homie, all right? And that is Mimi. Mimi Rocks on Twitter and Mimi's Aether on Instagram. She is an artist, blurred, and she's into all that nerd stuff and all that good stuff, right? Edit that one. So I know we're missing a couple of members, but we wanted to keep it a little short, sweet, simple, and intimate for another episode of our Black History Month special, where we're talking about Black representation in all things nerd, but mostly anime. We're gonna do some video game talk. But the reason that we have a special guest today and some people who are also chiming in on this topic is because I wanted to make sure that not only did we represent color in anime from our perspective, but from the perspective of the sisters. Some of the homies that also enjoy watching anime with us and can also weigh in on some of the topics that we're talking about. And so that's what we're going to do. So, please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube when it drops there. And if you're watching it here with us on Twitch, please share it out right now so people can join in the conversation and be part of the discourse as the pillars are meeting once again. So, pillars and Mimi, let's get down to it. When we're talking about Black representation in anime, first let's start off with a character of color that we feel was pretty dope in animes that we can talk about that we didn't get to. Maybe I know we talked about this already, Goose, Kadeem, but if you got anybody else on your list that you could drop or throw at us, let us know. But Mimi, I don't want to be, I know it's 2021 and all that, but allow a gentleman to be a gentleman. You may go first, Mimi. What's a Black character in anime that you like or resonate with?
When I think of a Black anime character who, I just immediately, fell for, I cannot think of anyone more potent than, Afro Samurai. There's love, right? Afro and Ninja, right. Because the first moment that I saw them, it was just with anime debates and cosplay and all kinds of, facets of the anime community, there's always these little kind of snips and, snarls from other people that is well, that character is not really Black, they're just dark skinned,
Yeah.
And, that, it's just okay, I understand, but let me have my moment thing. But there's Afro Samurai who is undeniably Black.
Black.
There is no way that you can look at that man and tell me that he ain't Black. There's the art is amazing anyway, but it's so stylized, but it encapsulates all those traditional Black features that a lot of Black people had to grow to love. That wide nose, those really full lips, that kinky curly hair, and he has all of that stuff. And on top of that, that man is swaggerific. How can you just not? Love. There's. It's just so under.
His name is Afro, right? It doesn't get any better than that. His name is Afro.
It is Afro.
It definitely is.
And he's just undeniably Black. From the way that he walks, he talks, he moves, it feels like somebody that I watched walk by in my neighborhood as a kid. And I fell in love with that immediately. Somebody else put me onto it, and I was just what is this magic? This is a black man. I was just we love this.
So I realized I failed stream and everybody watching on YouTube. So the reason that you hear Mimi talking about the art styles and how important that is to her is because she's an artist. I'm sorry. She's an artist, y'all. I'm sorry. There's a picture behind it. I know you did that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep. She's an actual artist, and that's why she actually started talking about the art itself, and that's kind of why she went into it that way. Stream. I forgot to say that ahead of time. Mimi, artist, blurred. There you
Hi.
go.
Okay, and part-time, very part-time cosplayer, very part-time. But yeah, and it was just like, and there's that attachment to it because it was just like looking at him and then going into Ninja, like, he's that loud guy who don't really do nothing, but he's there to be your moral compass, you know. And we all know the one black guy that's like that, and it was just like, it was being able to see these characters and then, knowing people that I could like, that kind of like, I can relate them to, that guy that's playing dominoes at the table who's yelling, in the middle of the game, not gonna win, but he's telling everybody else how to do it, and that's Ninja.
But that is exactly how he is, and I saw him and I thought of that immediately. And I think so. We obviously brought up Afro Samurai before. I think it was you, Goose, who said Afro, right? So we definitely brought up Afro Samurai before, and we talked about how cool it is to see that sort of dynamic on screen. And I think the coolest thing about it is not only does he represent the kinky hair, the proper hair, and all that stuff, but he looks cool, and he is cool. He's actually pretty bad A. And so like you kind of see him working and moving, and you realize that his technique is great. He's been slaying a bunch of people. People are trying to get him for the bounty on his head. Whatever the case is, you see that he's out there, and so for that, I think that he definitely kind of makes the list. For sure. So yes.
He needs to be on the list. Okay,
he's on. If you say any black anime character list and don't say Afro, we all give you the side eye.
Right, you're not doing it right. You're doing it wrong.
Exactly. Anyone? So Dean, Goose.
I would say, for sure, this is one of my top animes. Because it's a classic. So I'm gonna go with Pyunma from 009, Cyborg 009.
Wow.
Is 008.
Yes, he is.
Wow.
I
love that guy.
Did you do that, Travis? He went in the bag of tricks, stream. He said went in the bag of tricks. He's like, I'm going to 0. Y'all know about this. Travis hit y'all with the curveball.
Man. I mean, at a time where people were talking that black people don't swim, his actual power was how fast he's swimming.
Exactly. Oh wow. Hey Red Rabu, how you doing?
Sorry, for sure, Pyunma. That's the character I'm gonna bring up.
Okay, no, that is actually, what's funny was, like, wasn't he originally like his actual skin color, and then he was like blue, and then he went back to his skin color or something like that, right? Like they couldn't even decide what they wanted to do with him, but he was an actual character who was black back in like the olden days, and it was kind of funny because like I think he was originally black, and like when they were animated him, they made him blue. I guess for whatever reason, and then like a couple like years later in the anime, he was like, nope, let's make him black again because he's obviously black.
Mr. Popo is what it is.
No, but not even that, because Mr. Popo was like blackface. He's like that really disrespectful kind of thing. Where he was actually like the character from 008. Like he had the nose, he had the proper hair, and the hairline, right, Travis? He had a hairline. He had a hairline. Yo.
When you look up like how his look is, they say buzz cut. So like it's what's very interesting to me. I think Japan has come a long way. Still got ways to go, of course. Everybody does, but I think those who want to incorporate black characters into their shows and their mangas and their anime and stuff like that. I think back then, you got to remember, like, that place, there are places where people really don't leave their place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And when you go to Japan, they still, like, every black woman is Beyonce to them. And, and every black guy is Barack Obama. So, like, I mean, you want to say educate yourselves, but I want to show, it's like, people don't get it. They don't know right away. They're not getting it right away. So like they had to change it from black to blue. They don't know. People don't know, and it's this ongoing thing of people not knowing what exactly to do with us except just do right by us. But we saw the change with 008, of course. Same thing with Mr. Popo. We brought him up. But yeah, it's not like he wasn't black African American. His character's from Kenya. So like we know he's African American straight off the bat from when he was created. That's what they said, that he was from Kenya. So,
yeah, 100%. And screw it. We're already going this route, right? Let's go on and do it then. The thing about it that really sits with me, stream, just like my brother was just saying, his name is Goose the Truth because he's got some nuggets of truth, y'all. And I want to just, as we always say here, piggyback on it. for real, because the thing is, what we see is they were only trying to do in art what they knew. So because they saw blackface in actual art things when they were trying to reach out to American cultures, they did that, and they kind of reproduced it in their art styles. And that's why we got a lot of that back in the day. It changed over time once they got more knowledge of us. And that's why we saw, like, you know, the Hunter x Hunter, the Canary, right? We started to see some real change with that. We started to see changes with, like he said, Cyber 009, because that anime came out a long time ago.
1968.
It's an old anime. And for him to not just be blackface, but be an actual character was a big deal. So, and that's why, again, and that, it goes full circle. Shout outs again to Stan Lee and those guys who making sure that they had art styles of black people that made us look good. You know what I'm saying? For people to see in other countries. And so that's 100% true. 100% true. I don't want to stay there too long. Go ahead, Kadeem. My bad, bro. Go ahead, Kadeem.
You good. One of my, well, I don't know how much we're doing, but for one of my picks, I'll choose. We brought this up last week. I don't know which one of you guys brought it up. I believe it was Travis, but my gut is telling me Maurice brought it up. But
my mind is telling me. Anyway.
I went, and watched some clips, did my research on this character. I'm gonna pick Bob Makihara from Tenju Tenge.
Yeah.
And the main thing that stood about me about this character is that he's not only black, one of the black strongest characters in the anime. Right. It's not like, oh, he's just a regular, black character. So, we're just going to integrate him in the anime just, for the black community. He plays an important role. Yeah. And also, if I'm not mistaken, he is from South Africa.
I think he's from South Africa, but I know exactly what his influence was. And I don't know if you're gonna say it, so I'm gonna wait. You gonna say it, Kadeem?
No, I'm not.
Can I do it? So Bob is based off of Bob Marley. The reason that Bob is such an important character is because Bob Marley is such an influential person in the world. As a matter of fact, the person who made Tenjo Tenge said that. He said the reason that he wanted to do that is because he had so much respect for Bob Marley and the influence Bob Marley had on the world, that he wanted to make a character that represented him with so much power and influence in his show. So that's cool. That's, again, being able what you experience changes how you make art, and that's why Bob is who he is. That's crazy to me. Like, it's bananas. Like, wow, it's every time I think about it, it's crazy.
And also, like, his fighting style, which is, shout out to Eddie Goro.
Oh god, Eddie Goro and Brazil. Capoeira. Daggone Christy, man. We're not here for the Christy. That's why we do mid hits and Tekken.
There we go, right?
That's all we do.
Hold on. What's that combo, Ed? What's the slide, the exit?
Oh no. We don't exactly.
Look at me.
He's like, no. So but yeah, for real, and that's a big thing. And yeah. So that's Crystal in the chat. So Lunar Sagittarius, exactly. Tenjo Tenge is great. Bob is dope for sure. He was one of those characters that sat out there.
He was on par with the main character.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he definitely was. I think they said that he was one of the top 4 strongest characters
in that, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
In the anime, yeah.
It's
I didn't know Jet Black was black. From
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, he is.
Now they making they got some light.
We love Cowboy. Oh, you're wearing a Cowboy Bebop shirt. She got sit on the shirt. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
See your face, cowboy. But that was a lot of characters.
Yeah, Red Man. We spoke about the anime last week.
You know it. We have.
I was kind of intrigued because they was bringing up, like, he's black. He got dreads, and I'm like, what? Let me go see if I can put him on the list. Let me go do my research.
Did you watch the show?
And honestly, it's really a good anime.
It's one of the
good anime.
It's one of the goated anime. It's goated. Yeah, that's right, goated, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But the manga continues on without the anime, though. I wish they would have. Now that would have been great if they continued them.
Well, you never know. They might pick it back up. Hopefully they do. Hopefully, especially with the illustration now, they could. Well, you never. Sky's the limit, man. You never know.
Yeah, true, and that's the thing. Sky's the limit with animation nowadays. And yes, Red Rabu, I'm glad we unlocked the inner part of your potential in the chat. All right, because listen, sometimes
never mind.
Type it into your subconscious. There, we know that Tenjo Tenge is something that comes up and people don't really know about it. As a matter of fact, we were talking about an interesting thing the other day on the show about how there are some really good anime that people don't talk about anymore that are, like, literally on the top of the list. For example, I think Edwin said it. He doesn't hear people talking about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it's literally like one of the top 5 anime ever created in life. It's one of the best ones ever created, and people don't literally say things about it, but we know it's one of the best ones written and otherwise. So I think it's very interesting, and I'm glad that we were able to bring up a part of your brain that you probably forgot about with some anime and just that conversation that we get to have. So real quick, since we did it just now, we kind of segued into this part in this portion of the show, and I want to do it. So we started talking about the importance of black characters in anime to us and what it means to us. And so for that, I'm actually excited because I got some people to help me weigh in on that. And so I'm actually going to play some sound bites, if you will, from some people who are kind of definitely some female blerds who are into all that stuff, and some maybe artists, some might be fic writers, some might be cosplayers and stuff like that, but they definitely weighed in on it, and I appreciate them. Shout outs to them. So the first one
We love that.
is coming from my homie. She was in the chat. That's my friend, my homie Crystal, and I just want to play hers real quick. And that's why you see the microphone on stream, y'all, because we're on the air, but we got some people who are also going to be on the air with us. And so listen to this one.
Hi, Hashira Podcast. I'm Zalaria. My good friend More Ice, I guess y'all call him Ryan. The homie Ryan asked me to come on here and give this little voicing of my opinion and the thing and such. Gomen aside, I don't speak public often.
You don't speak good
Sorry. But I think it's super important to have black representation in anime. Especially for the younger generation, because growing up we didn't have that much. There were a couple, but as we progress and more anime comes out, and it just gets more and more amazing, because the anime that's out now is just blowing my mind. Like Mappa is wilding. But forgive me, I digress. I've been watching anime for a long time, since the early 90s, and I didn't even know it was anime. I just watched it because I liked it. I didn't know that Sailor Moon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon were anime. But seeing myself in the characters, like just from personality-wise, I already loved it. But once I got older and they started showing more black people and I could see myself visually, I was so hyped. And I think that's great for the younger generation to see that. Like, one of the better animes for that is Bleach. I love Bleach so much. It was one of my first favorite, like, actual fighting anime. Sailor Moon is quote unquote an action anime, but like really getting active anime was Bleach. And I watched that when I was in high school. That was 15 years ago. Yikes, showing my age.
Showing everybody age, girl.
Seeing the characters in that show had me so hyped. Like, I was just hyped anyway because it's a really good show, and I'm very happy it's coming back. But seeing Yoroichi and Tosin and what was that Arankar's name? I think it was like Melrose and like Harry Bell. Seeing black people in there had me dumb hyped because I'm like, yo, like we're really in here. And I think that it was done so well, and like they were beast characters. They were strong. They were scrapping, and it wasn't like overly drawn. Because you know how like in the back of the days anime, it was like black people with the caricature lips, like the big round donut lips. And, oh, I hate that so much. But yeah, the characters in Bleach, that was super dope to me. I was hyped to watch it. I literally was so sad when Bleach ended. Like, it felt like a piece of me was gone because I had been watching it for a few years, but seeing myself in there had me super hyped. That was the first time I ever even thought about doing a cosplay, because not that I wouldn't do a character that wasn't black. It was just that, like, yo, like, we out here. Like, we really doing this. I'm getting too hyped. I'm sounding like Mo. Oh, I digress. Yeah, I think it's really important for young black anime watchers' self-esteem to see ourselves in anime, and especially the younger, the children, because black is but isn't the standard of beauty, so to speak. Like, they want our features, but they don't want us, so we're not shown a lot. So when you see yourself in something you love, that's super dope. And yeah, I think it's really important to see ourselves in there, because every time I'm watching an anime, I see a black person, I'm like, yo! Like, I get super happy now. Even if the character's a little bit not too cool. I'm like, okay, representation, you're a little bit whack, but like, we'll get past it. But then you get the beast characters, and I'm just all for it. So I think it's like super awesome to have that and see ourselves in that.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's dope. And so thank you. That's Luna Sagittarius. So at Luna Sagittarius on Instagram. She is a blerd. She's into all that stuff, and she is like a blerdy chef. Like she like makes Japanese cuisine and does it well. But so she's into like all
she
that.
slay makeup too. So
Oh yes, she does.
My
My bad. She slays makeup. Yes, she does. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. She'll have y'all beat to the gods, right? That's what y'all say. Anyway.
Yes, beat to the gods.
But yeah, so that's just kind of like her. Any of you guys, Mimi, anybody want to weigh on anything that she said? You can go ahead and do that.
I guess I'll go.
Held everything on the head. Nah, you good guy, Mimi.
I'd be like, wait, I don't know. Yeah, so like she said, like, like Yoruichi is definitely like she was like, I was so excited. Like I remember seeing her, like she was the reason I started watching because it was just like I was looking and I was like, I want to get into cosplay, but I don't want to, cosplay a character who's not brown. I want to cosplay somebody who's brown. And I was just Googling brown anime characters, not even gonna lie. Just right there with Google. And she was one of the first to pop up. And I was like, who's this? I was like, she was brown. Okay. And then they showed her in her captain's uniform. I was like, wait, so she's brown, she's a woman,
and she's a beast.
And she's a beast. I was like, all right, so let me go find this anime. Let me go watch this so I can find her and see what this is all about. And just to kind of like get a little bit into cosplay, I'm not gonna go crazy, but to see like young Black women cosplay her and the amount of confidence you've seen in these women when they strut by in that Yoruichi costume,
because they know who she is.
They know who she is, and they just like, it was this confidence and this sparkle, this shine that they had, like feeling so confident about being able to look like and relate to that character, and it like, again, there's nothing wrong with cosplaying a character who's not of your ethnicity, but it hit different when you look like her, when somebody will just be like, oh my god, that's Yoruichi, like that's her, walking in real life. No,
but you get that sort of feeling from those characters, and I think that's what, when she said that, and the GFTG podcast, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us and sitting with us. They said it, and that's one of the things I had to snap for. Even when she was saying it, I was listening to the message. They want our features, but they don't want us. Like that was a real thing in a lot of things for a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's why seeing Bleach was very different for me, because it did put Yoruichi out there, Kaname Tosin, all those guys, like, saying, and it put them in a position where they were really strong, and it kind of made you feel confident to be those characters. It's like, even in the last episode, I said it, like that was the first character when I saw Tosin, I was like, yo, I could cosplay this guy. I could be Kaname Tosin with no, like I could actually be Kaname Tosin. Like I can do this. And so it was big. It was big. For sure. Any Goose, did you have anything?
No, I think she, I when I heard her say, even if there's that character that not that cool, I was thinking to myself, what character that they made is not that cool as as Black? Nothing in my mind. Specifically, but I'm still gonna be brainstorming for that one. But no, I don't know any. I don't know any Black characters.
I can't think of any.
I can't think of any.
So there.
She would have to tell me. Like
that could be an icebreaker for the next.
Or try to find one.
Next go around.
For our last Black History Month conversation.
Mr. Popo, even Mr. Popo was cool.
He just looked. He was just disrespectful in the way he was drawn, but he wasn't a bad character.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So dude just stood there and looked at you.
Listen, he held it down for Earth, like.
But this is not like as I'm gonna quote my boy Ryan here. This is not the Hashira Podcast unless your boy Kadeem, aka Black by Name, asked an absurd question. Mimi, I have a question for you.
Oh, here we go. I got a question.
Oh no.
As a female, or as a woman that watches anime, how you see the development of women African American women in the anime, they're starting to develop more. When I mean develop, like now they're in the anime. Now they have the power scaling. Now they're stronger. They're not just bystanders. They're not just witnesses and stuff. They're actually in the anime, fighting scenes and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel like the anime community is starting to develop the female characters into basically male roles?
I need more. Like, just to start there, I need more. Okay, it's getting there, and they're working on it, and I appreciate and love it. I love being able to see like Black women, and just women characters in general, but specifically Black women. I love seeing them not just be the bystander, just being back there, being like the token character. Like, oh yeah, we got all of these other characters. We just want to throw a Black woman in there because we need to represent a little bit, just a tiny. Now they're getting into action. Now they're out here, actually like beating people up, like, and they're strong. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So they're giving us a little power. They're representing us in a way that's just not like innocent bystanders. Because like, in any conversation you have about Black people, they always say like, Black women, we some tough people out here. Black people in general, but women, man. Okay.
You're holding it down out here? Holding it down.
Right.
Okay.
No, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Word, 100%.
Right. And so I love seeing that. And I'm ready for there to, like, they have these, these strong Black women, and they're just kind of, pushing them in the right direction, pushing them into, stronger, better roles, leadership roles. I love that. And I need more of it. Like, and seeing it just as a Black woman, like the little girl inside of me is just like mad excited. She's just like, yes, I need this. Yes. All of the excitement, and like that's good. Like it was just like I needed that, and it makes me so happy that like other little girls, because whenever like I used to babysit kids, I don't do that no more. But whenever I used to like babysit little kids, like if I was watching anime, I was watching it too. And so it was just like, look, you see that? You see that Black woman? You see her right there? Look at that.
There's an example for you to follow, and that's a good one, and that's gonna keep us in that kind of emotion here. So I have another person who weighed in with some thoughts. I'm gonna play that audio for us all to listen to. This is, I can't actually say the handle because I don't cuss, but a friend of mine, she's normally here in the stream, Hurricane Caddy. She sits with us and she vibes with us when we're talking all this anime talk, and she kind of weighed in on it, and this is what she had to say.
When you think of your favorite anime, what parts of the anime really make or break it for you? For me, it's the characters. Well-written characters allow us as viewers to grow more attached to the story that we are viewing. Will the characters make it to the end? How will they change as the story continues? These questions help me to stay invested in the plot. So when I'm thinking of my favorite anime, I often think of my favorite characters from that anime before even thinking about the other parts of the series. So it's even better if I can find an engaging character who is well done, non-stereotypical, and looks like me. There aren't many central anime characters in anime who are Black, but when I see characters like that in an anime that I enjoy, I can't help but feel excited. I think, wow, this character is awesome and they look like me. It's another layer of connection to the story. I can't tell you how excited I was to see Canary when she first appeared in Hunter x Hunter. Like, I wasn't even expecting it. Like, here's this kick-ass fighter who's giving the characters a run for their money, and she's got dark brown skin and kinky hair. Like, it's even better when the anime doesn't employ unfortunate stereotypes in its depiction of its Black characters, and when the characters are pivotal to the plot. As anime grows more and more global, I think it's even more important for there to be more Black characters in order to connect with a wider audience.
Boom. Like, come on, y'all. That was well done. Well said. 100%. And I think it's funny because like everybody said something about Canary, and what Canary represents, and I think she kind of put the nail on the head there. Just to be like, boom. You make those connections to characters, it's easier for you to find a way to like the story more, especially if you connect with characters first before anything. And so Yeah, I wish I don't have the boom. I wish I had the boom on my thing.
What the funk
exactly.
flex?
Just drop the funk master flex.
They dropping bombs.
Right.
They dropping bombs.
They dropping bombs. But that was kind of what she had to say about that, and I think she kind of said it all. So I guess I'll just move to the next one real quick, unless you guys wanted to add in on that at all. I'll move on to the next one. Yeah, I felt like it was a pretty complete statement, right?
Yeah, it was.
Word.
It pretty much was.
If you're in the chat and you're a sub, drop the nice works for that. That was good. Please drop the nice work. You gotta drop 2 of them. You gotta drop one for Luna Sagittarius.
Yeah, where's she at, man? We got shout outs to her, man. That was really good. I like that.
Caddy. Those are real good. Those are real good. Drop the nice works in the chat if you got it. And so I guess we'll move on to the last one. This one's from a friend of mine. She's also supportive of that blurred stuff, the blurry content. She goes to a lot of like the cons that are representations of us and the blerds, making sure that she supports all that sort of stuff by sharing information and going out to the cons themselves. And she does cosplay and stuff sometimes. She is pretty cool and pretty damn good in Overwatch. And all that good stuff. And so that's why I make sure that I dropped her on here. So this is what she had to say.
So, growing up, Sailor Moon was my favorite anime. And as we all know, Sailor Moon is blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and just an overall petite, cute girl. And the whole show is just about her doing magical things with her best friends and saving the world. And I wanted to be just like her, like literally. So much so that I started to form a complex. I used to make up characters in my mind who did all these amazing things and went on all of these amazing adventures. The only issue was that they all looked just like her. They all had blonde hair and they all had blue eyes. I never made a black character who did all these things. I never made a character who looked like myself because all of my favorite characters were either similar to Sailor Moon or in general just white or Asian. I didn't really see a lot of black female characters, so of course at the time I literally couldn't imagine a black woman doing all of the things that I loved, making magic and saving the world, which is funny because that's literally all of the things that we do on a daily basis by just existing, but I couldn't imagine that. And it's due to the lack of representation in all forms of art and media. I grew up on Hercules and Xena and other shows like that, and you would just see random black female characters who would literally just come on for a few scenes and play backup to somebody who would get smoked by them on any other given day. You know, in the anime community, one of the favorite black characters is that girl from Hunter x Hunter, and from all I've seen, she was literally there just to be a shield, and that's the issue. When there is a black female character, she's either overly sexualized, or she's meant to be a shield, or she's just meant to be a bully. We never get, a simple black female character just living her best life. It's 2021. My favorite video game, Overwatch, still does not have a character who looks like me or looks like my friends. I played Apex for the first time last year and discovered Lifeline and fell in love. And I'm like, look at that.
Bangalore.
Not only do I get a healer, she's black, she has cute little buns on her head, she's not overly sexualized, and she's not some like OD, mean, brolic girl. Like, she's just a simple black girl. And it's like, why has it taken so long to get characters like her just doing amazing shit? Like, we literally do that every day, and yet they never want to portray that for us.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, cat.
I could definitely add on to one thing that she said. Oh, she's a poet or something? No.
Nah, we snapping. I'm just snapping the snap. Don't
one thing that she said that stood out to me was that when she said, she's able to like dress up and do magic and do the whole Sailor Moon thing. The anime community really hit the black community with Comic-Con. Now that they integrated more black characters in anime, as African Americans could dress as the character that we're drawn to, that Black we're drawn to, and go to Comic-Con. So that's what like, you know, we're more involved rather than it's just, you know, us Black people going as white characters. You know, it's
different.
Us, exactly. You know,
it hits
so
different.
It hit different. Yeah, it hit different.
Hit different. Hit different.
Hit different. But
I'd have to slightly go against the grain.
Go ahead.
And say there's a reason. I think even if they don't realize it, this is something that they're doing that may possibly be slightly correct. The reason why we don't have a lot of Black characters who are happy-go-lucky and living their best lives is because we're not there yet. We don't have that yet. So when I see characters like, you know, I know she was talking about other shows. One of the big shows that I love is Star Trek. And I love watching Picard, and I love watching these. But when Captain Sisko came into play, the first Black captain, I was like, this is beast. And the biggest thing was about him, excuse my language, was that he ain't take no shit.
Only logical. It's only logical.
And I think and I think that's just because we've been pushed around for so long. We don't take no shit. How we are with each other and then how we are with other people is how they're possibly going to put us out there. And there's a reason why we have our defenses up. There's a reason why Canary has her defense up. There's a reason why Captain Sisko has his defense up, because we don't have that luxury yet to be
freedom, right?
Happy-go-lucky. So yeah, that's I'm not knocking the, solid, serious face, because you know what? It'd be even at work where people would be like, "How are you friends with so and so? She always has like a mean face," and I'm like, "Not with me." We're talking about a Black woman in the workplace.
The resting.
Clean it up. But when I look over and I look at her face, talking to, somebody else, a white person or whatever, her face is like this because, especially for women, they have not been taken seriously. Black women have not been taken serious. Of course, this is their face. I think a Black woman character that comes to mind is Michiko. I'm blanking on the anime, but her face tends to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Canary's face. So like, I think there's a reason why like we have a lot of characters that are not. I mean, again, if you continue to watch the shows, we will notice their great parts, right? We saw how Canary could smile when she was like actually like taking care of who she loved and all that stuff.
Yep.
When Captain Sisko with his son, and he's cooking with his son, he's smiling. But when business is there, it's business.
Time for business.
And that's because we don't have that luxury yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's the reason why I think that's the reason why our characters are the way they are, and that's the reason why we are the way we are right now. So that's just my thoughts.
No, I mean that's not even
really good point.
Yes, that's a good way to look at it. I would have to say 100% that I think that that there's a lot of truth there, and so I could see why that is the case especially when we were talking about is what information is available to you, right? Is what information that you use. And so if you see people who have their guard up, if you see people who are still recovering, then it's hard to deal with it. And I guess to bring it back to an anime standpoint, especially because I don't know why people think that anime is for children, because anime is something that teaches us about ourselves and about real life things. If you look into, they literally took the Ishvalans in Full Metal Alchemist, right? And showed a people that were just happy and fine. Then who were then just pretty much destroyed, almost a genocide on them, and because their skin was darker, right? 100%. And then afterwards, they didn't understand why Scar was doing what he was doing. Like they were trying to act like they didn't understand why Scar was ruthlessly doing the things that he was doing, why he couldn't trust anybody, why he was acting the way he was acting, and it was because of the fact that when something that happens to your people, yourself, your community, your family over a set time period, And now it's time for you to come back. What do you expect to happen to them? And so therefore you see, that's why I kind of understand that a lot. And you're right. Michiko definitely, she has resting B face. Michiko has resting B face. She sure does. So like, I would have to agree with that. 100%.
Even Black Lightning too, like his demeanor, like he's a principal, you know what I'm saying? He's serious. And when we see him with his family, he's laughing it up, you know what I'm saying? As soon as he goes back to school, when he's that principal, you know, so like, yeah, I mean, we ain't there to be happy-go-lucky all the time.
Yeah, I heard my brother Travis say "ain't." Be lucky.
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, like with Black Lightning, like, you know, there was a point in the show, I don't remember what episode, but I remember him, you know, talking to his kids about their actions, and he was just like, he's like, you know who we are, you know what we represent. We got to be 2 times better. We got to be 2 times stronger. We got to be 2 times faster. You know, we have to be better than whoever we're competing against, whether, you know, it's, you know, non-Black folk or, you know, just our enemies in general. We have to be better. We have to appear stronger. Our skin has to be tougher. We don't get that luxury to just be like, oh, you know, my feelings hurt, let me lay down and, you know, cry about it. It's like, nah, you got to get up, boss up, and do what you got to do. And when you get home with your family, you cry, we talk about it, we love you, and then we get out there in the world and we do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Black Panther too. Black Panther's another one. Serious face when he was amongst the other Avengers. The only time we saw him laughing it up was when he was with, you know.
Yeah, with Shuri. When he's with his family, he's with the family. That's when he had a chance to lighten up.
When he was home.
Yeah, no, but that's 100% true. I think that was a good one, Mimi. So that was a good one. But for real, I have to agree with that, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's very interesting in the chat a little earlier, the GFTG podcast. I think I said all of those things properly. They were saying, is it up to? As a matter of fact, let me go back to the quote. I don't want to mess up what they said. Let me go back to it. It says, is it on us to stand up for ourselves in these spaces, or more important for the gatekeepers to let us in? My response to that was, gates are meant to be open. And so the only way that gates get open is by us showing and being 2 times better, right? Us representing ourselves 2 times as strong, us being 2 times as fast, us making sure that we're better at doing things, and making sure that we open the gates that they decide to keep closed, because we've been doing that for years on end, right? Like, we're grateful to the pioneers and the people that have decided to do those things, but it's because of those doors, those gates that were open when they didn't want to open them, but they were forced open by people who were doing what they need to do and doing it at a level that they had to respect. It allows us in. And therefore, I say this here and right now, like I always say it, nerds supporting nerds equals greater nerds, but blerds supporting blerds equals greater blerds. And that's real talk. We support ourselves, we make ourselves popular, we make ourselves out there, we put ourselves out there, we make sure that our content is good, that we're looking out for each other, and that's going to put us in position and perspective in order to get people to recognize us, to acknowledge us, and have to deal with us, because sometimes they don't want to accept us, let's be 100%, but they'd have to deal with us once we get there. And as long as we get there and we're doing what we're supposed to do and doing it to the level that we can and the best that we can with support, I believe we can make it. And I say that all the time because I believe in it. I definitely believe in it. That's 100%. But if it matters about the gates, ask my man Mike Guy. Gates are meant to be open, 100%. So that's real. And before I could get stuck in that, and me and Travis can go on it for a while, because you know we get stuck here for a minute. And last year was just last year, so let's not act like it's not for you know what I'm saying, right?
Your last year poured into the beginning of this year.
Last year, exactly. It sure did. There's a lot of stuff happening. I do want to. I got some more other audio from some people, and I want to play that stuff for you guys to hear and for us to hear. So I'm gonna drop it again. This is the Lunar Sagittarius. I call her Zalaria, and this is just kind of her weighing in on a character that she kind of felt like she connected with.
One of my favorite Black anime characters that it meant a lot to me was Canary in Hunter x Hunter. I'm saying Hunter x Hunter for y'all because I really be saying Hunter Hunter. Don't get on me. I don't know which way it's supposed to be, but I be like Hunter Hunter. But I love Canary in Hunter Hunter because when I watched Hunter Hunter, it was a couple years ago, and I was in a really dark time in my life. So usually when I'm going through something bad, I'm most likely watching anime because it is a great mood booster, and it's like it's a therapy for me. It's a free therapy. Well, not free anymore because I have a Crunchyroll account, but you know, I digress. So I was watching Hunter x Hunter, and it was a dark point in my life. Like I binge watched it in like a few weeks because it was just like nonstop. I don't think I had a job at the time, and I was really depressed. But Canary is so freaking beast. Like I love a lot of characters in the show, but Canary was so cool to me because she was so strong, and it helped me. The show in general helped me through whatever I was going through, but it helped me because her strength, physical strength, and emotional too, because she had to, not to give spoilers or anything, but she had to like hold down her emotions from doing what she wanted to do to pledge her allegiance to the family. She greatly wanted to be Killua's friend, but she knew his mom's was not having that, so she acted like she's like, nah, I'm just a humble servant. I'm not your friend. Don't come over here with that. And even though it pained her to do that, she did what she had to do. But the fact that at 10 years old, she took down a Blacklist hunter and 100 of his men in minutes? Not 10 minutes, not half an hour, not an hour, in minutes. Like instantaneously, they were done. Y'all got beat by a 10-year-old girl. Y'all trash. But it was really dope to me, and I really love her as a character. I love her design too. I love her hair. Her eyes are like really stoic, and they like drew like some emotion in her eyes too. Even when she was like beating the life out of Gon, and then she was like, "Bro, stop, please. I don't want to do this anymore." But she's a really dope character. She's really strong. Really dope anime. I think Hunter x Hunter holds the title for the anime to ever make me cry the most, because bawling like a baby, and it's not just because I was going through stuff at the time. It's because it's a really good anime. So if you haven't watched it, I highly suggest it. But yeah, Canary's dope. She's strong, and she represents the strength that I want in myself.
Representation.
You know, it's funny, that phone
went
off at the right time.
The right time.
Representation.
Representation.
It does that.
It does that. And you see how much people are like, as talking about Canary. It's like so funny.
I was thinking I was gonna say that,
because Canary's one of the most,
it's really crazy.
It's one of the most early representations that's proper. Like her hair just got me. When I first saw it, I was like, no. I was like,
it's the hair for me.
It's
Yes, it's the hair. We love that.
For me.
It's the hair for him.
We love that.
That's wild. But yeah,
and it's crazy. I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter, but I know who Canary is. Like, I've never seen it. I've heard about, but I've personally never watched it. But she's one of those black characters that when you go and type in, I want a brown character, she pops up, and she's everywhere. You know, like people talk about her, like, you know, feeds, fan art. She's all over the place. It got to the point where I couldn't look somewhere and not see this girl, and I had to be like, okay, who is she? Because I've never watched it.
Like Nobunaga said, who's normally here, one of the members of the Hashira Podcast, fellow pillar of mine, he was talking about how she was such a prominent character that Rihanna cosplayed her. Exactly. See, he just put it in the chat. As soon as I said it. Rihanna cosplayed her on the front of a magazine. And I know, I had a lot of friends who were like, "Why is she dressed like this?" And I'm like, "Oh, you don't even know, huh?" I don't know. I was like, "Yeah, you don't know yet." But now people know, and that's good. And I'm grateful that people get to see that side of anime and what that means, and the representation that's being changed and kind of like pushed through because of Canary. Characters like that who hold such a good space in our minds, memories, and hearts that it's kind of pushed them to make more representation and more anime. And that's great.
I think
dynamic representation.
I think in terms of the best type of representation, I think she hits it on. I think she hits it right on the bar. I think there's two characters that come to mind that hit it right on the head, and it's Afro and Canary. If you ask me, because granted, yes, we are talking about all these other black characters and stuff like that, but there's just something.
I didn't think Canary would be that high.
You didn't think so?
I also would be like Yorichi from Bleach.
So Yorichi is amazing as a black female character, being the head of an entire part of the Serite and all that good stuff. It's great, and she's pretty bad, a lot of confidence, teaches one of the most fundamental and best techniques, and is the best at it. She is the flash step teacher and flash step master. But all that is good, but her hair still kind of doesn't necessarily look like ours. And then you see Canary, who's out here smoking folk, and she got the hair. It's right. You know what I'm saying? So, and not to say that,
It's that hair that they told you not to wear when you come to work.
Exactly.
It's that hair they told you not to wear at school. It's the same hair that your mama hot comb. Good little girls know your mama hot comb to make it straight.
Right.
That she turned
hot comb
to make it straight.
My God.
Okay. We know I'm old, right?
The hot comb.
Okay, but it's that
He's
same
right
hair.
though. It's that hair. That's that hair.
Yeah,
So.
like even now, like as an adult, like my mom, she's still like, whenever I have my real hair out, she's just like, "Why are you wearing your hair nappy?" And I'm just like, "Because that's how it grows."
Right.
It's still a very like important thing. Like I remember somebody saying, like, briefly, they were just like, they was like, "It's crazy how me wearing my hair the way that it grows is a political statement. It's literally just the way it grows. This is how it comes out of my scalp. There's nothing that needs to be done to it. But for me to wear my hair like this, it's considered brave. It's considered radical. Like,
now that is
can
wild.
I just wear my hair?"
It's the things that we do in general that's so wild. Wearing our hair the way it grows out, that's controversial.
Yeah.
Right.
No different than them saying, again, I'm going to go back to it. They said, this is what the government said, that the Black Party serving food to children was the biggest national security that America's facing.
I love that face. That's all of
Wait,
that.
but why you have
It
to-
said everything.
Because you know why he had to do it.
It
Yeah.
said everything.
Black children is the number one concern
The number one concern.
at that time. You get like the thing, like that's so that you know what I mean. So yes, Canary is, I would definitely put Bob up there. Obviously, yeah, of course, because of his locks. But showing that kink prior to it, I think is necessary. And again, that's why I bring up Afro and I bring up Canary. I could bring up Khalik, but again, we see the braids into the locks. It's just.
Something about seeing the portion of before it gets there, right? What it
Before it
naturally
gets-
is before we put it up.
The way it grows.
And that's why I was a big fan of as naturally Shay said in the chat, talking about Atsuko Jackson. She is an Afro Brazilian chick with like the lighter hair that's like still kinky, but she has our features. She has the lips. She's got like the hoop earrings to represent. That's who she is. In Michiko no Tohachin. So it's just like you see it and you're like, boom. Like there it is right there for you in your face. And that's why she is also a character I see very often whenever I see blerds doing cosplay. I see her so much, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of helps us go into the next one for sure. So I got, this is another one from Hurricane Caddy, and her will come on the screen. I can't say it because I don't cuss.
God, my favorite Black characters are definitely a tie between Yoruichi from Bleach and Michiko from Michiko Tohachin. Yoruichi in particular was pretty formative for me because I really think her character was the first Black woman in an action anime series that I ever saw. And like, she was amazing. She even taught Byakuya. I was completely in awe of her. In anime back then, it was pretty common to give Black characters exaggerated, almost minstrel-like features, like with the huge pink red lips and a brutish, unintelligent personality. But Yoruichi wasn't like that. Like, she was sexy, she was confident, right? She was funny. She was well known for being an incredible fighter. Like, she taught Ichigo everything that he knew at first, right? And she also was revealed to have been Byakuya's teacher. She worked with that other female captain whose name I can't remember. How she was a captain back when that was a big thing in Bleach, when captains were the most powerful fighters before powerful enemies came along in later arcs. But yeah, she was an awesome character. I love Yoruichi.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it, and you love to hear it.
Love to see it. Love to hear it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so it's funny, we were just talking about like one person was talking about Canary, and we were talking about Canary and Yoruichi, right? We were doing that before, and since I knew what the next person was gonna say, right? I kind of was like, ooh, I know where this is going. Let me play this one right here, because we were just talking about the differences. And so while everything she said about Yoruichi, I agree with wholeheartedly, and I think that's why Yoruichi, and to me, I even said it, like, Bleach to me was a big thing, because Bleach was the first big shonen where it was like bam, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're black people, and
Right.
they're dope.
Who were there?
They're
Like,
captains.
important.
They're not. You know, we're not vice captain. We're not one of the smaller. No, they were the captains when you saw Kaname Tosen, you saw Yoruichi and stuff like that. To the point where Yoruichi looked at Byakuya, who was my favorite character, one of the strongest characters in the show, and was like, did you forget who you talking to? Because you can't keep up with me. Like, I was like, oh, so it's like that. It's like that.
Right. Was it the flash step, right?
Yeah.
Like, the flash step was like.
She taught him when he was little, and he's the fastest captain. Who's not? I think Soifan's the fastest, and he's right after her. And so she just looked back like, "Do you know who you forgot? You gonna try to chase me? Like, you know you can't catch me. Like what are we talking about here? You forgot who originated this thing? Who made this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So looked at all that's like the rock and roll artists of the past looking back at like Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters, and they're just like, you forgot who made this. Like, you try to play it better than us. You know, sort of situation. I'm a musician, y'all. I couldn't help it. Who said Byakuya trash? Whoa.
I just see that. Chill.
Wait a minute. Hold on, let me think of my phone.
Hey, yo, X, I'm gonna kick you. No joke.
No. Kick him. Do it. Kick him in the good knee.
Dang, someone said you're trash. Exactly.
Yeah, tell him, Crystal.
You are trash, X. Don't come in here like that. But so for real, just hearing like thoughts like that, and again, shout outs to all of those who literally gave us their thoughts and their voices. Thank you, Luna Sagittarius, aka Zalaria, the Crystal. Again, that's I'll put it up there so you can see it, guys, real quick. So that's her Twitter and her Instagram. Right there, so you can see it, and that's hers. She did the thing, and I appreciate your thoughts. Thanks for supporting the show.
Who said who was the one that said that she was watching anime during a tough time?
That's Crystal.
Luna Sagittarius.
That's what I was just talking about just now.
Yeah, let me. I just want to say thank you for even being open for the podcast, because sharing what you just shared. I know that's private, and you put it out there, so thank you for saying that on the podcast, because people will be watching this and hearing your voice. So
yeah, for sure. So thank you for your thoughts, OD, especially on something that's as serious as this and as important as this is to us, and as relevant as it is to us and to the times that we live in. So thank you so much, everybody. Put your nice works in the chat for the Luna Sagittarius, my friend Zalaria, and everybody who's watching on YouTube. Give us your thoughts about how you feel about the thoughts that we had again. And because we always do this normally and all that good stuff, I just want to make sure that the question that I have for you is gonna pretty much be on that same line again, because I know there's so many characters that kind of make you think that way. What is, or who are some of the black characters or moments in black animation or anime where a black character is involved in that really hit home for you? Something about them and what they represent that makes you feel just that, sometimes you can't put a word on it, but there are some moments in anime that I can't put to words, but when I saw it, I was just like, whoa. Like, I can't even tell you how many times when I saw, like, I keep bringing it up because it really sits with me. When I saw Kaname Tosen, like, I had a moment in my life where I was like, yo, this is the character I could actually... I see how people cosplay all the time when I'm going in Chinatown. I was young, going through Canal Street, stuff like that, but I saw a character I could actually dress up like, and I didn't have to, like, find a way to put my hair in. No, I could just be Kaname Tosen. Put some purple on that bad boy and call it a day. You know what I mean? So...
Right.
It was a transforming moment for me to see that and see Yoruichi and stuff like that. And I think we made a joke how like most black people in Bleach have purple hair. I don't know what's up with that, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's my question to you guys. Here in the stream, you guys can answer it as well. And on YouTube, for you guys who will see this episode after its live stream, please put those comments down in the comment section below. Again, shout outs also to Kat, that's Sin City. I put her tag there on her Instagram and her Twitter for sharing her thoughts with us, because she's right. I know a lot of young women who were stuck at a point where they didn't understand why they were always writing stories about characters, or there are a lot of like women who write like fictional stories for anime that they enjoy changing the stories on, and they would write the stories for characters who still had like the long hair and the blue eyes and the stuff like that you saw, because you didn't really see a lot of our own representation. And now those stories can change because we see a lot of that. Shout out to the people that made that possible, right? To the people like LaShawn Thompson, who did Cannon Busters, like all those people who made a lot of those things possible for us to move forward with, and making sure that we can see ourselves represented more and stuff like that. So shout outs to you. That's her handle there.
Yes, Crystal. No, stop it. You stop it right now, Crystal. Okay, because you're not gonna take my character. Get out.
Oh, you know how you said it. So and that there is Hurricane Caddy's handle on Twitter. She's also one who writes a lot of fic and is into a lot of storyline and anime stuff, and so she's more part of the shipping people of the anime side of things, but she definitely is always paying attention and stuff like that. And so obviously her thoughts were kind of given to you from a perspective of someone who writes a lot about that stuff. And so if you're into like stuff like that, you can follow her there and all that good stuff. Take that off. So yes, Ogun is dope.
Okay, like
Sharon is dope, but
you're gonna let me have him because that's mine.
Well, don't steal all of them. So but oh yeah, no, we had to give the black women's a voice. I felt like it was very important because, like I said, we had the podcast with us and we were talking and stuff like that. And even this episode is a little bit more focused. I think we got a little bit more into the nitty gritty of dealing with black representation as a whole. I want to say thank you to my big brother Bruce the Truth for his thoughts, because those were some really good thoughts. Thank you, Mimi, for joining us. Everybody give a nice work to Mimi. Put your hand, come on, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being our guest. We appreciate you so much. That's my girl, y'all. She's a blerd. Again, like I said, she's an artist. She draws a lot. She does work for me whenever I need something to be fixed. I'm always like, hey, fix this for me. Put this in the background and make it me, draw me, or something like that. She does that stuff for me. She's pretty awesome and stuff like that. Obviously her handle and her Instagram is underneath if you want to see any of her work, or just kind of follow her and keep up with stuff that she's into and stuff that she does.
Right. Just watch me do shenanigans and stuff.
You'll be seeing more of her here because she owes me a rematch in Tekken, because we ended and it was 12-11, and I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that.
I gotta practice.
I'm not here for that. I gotta practice too, because you over there smoking me, so I'm not. Nope. The rematch is on, y'all. I'm live streaming that bad boy. Anyway.
All right. So you're gonna put me on blast.
So, but again, thank you. Thank all of you for sitting with us, for rocking with us, for chilling with us, for being with us, for vibing with us, and all that good stuff. Right, Ed and Edwin? So again, this has been the Hashira Podcast. I guess this is actually an important episode. I don't want to. Do you guys have a last thought on anything before I close this out? I don't want to just close it like that, because
I do have a little bit.
Go for it.
So just touching on representation, right? As everyone has said, remember when you are looking for representation in any facet of your life, wherever you're looking for it, it's not just being represented. It is how you are represented that also matters. Because putting you there, putting a black person there, putting a person of color there, does not mean you are going to be represented properly. So before you out there screaming about representation, make sure that the people who are representing you, how you are being represented, is true to you and what you believe in.
Oh, boom. Well, yeah, no, she's right. We were talking about representation, and she's absolutely right. Big facts. Make sure the representation is correct. 100%. Yeah, no, that's real. Goose, did you have a last thought?
The moment that you find yourself singing "We Shall Overcome" is the same moment that the government has failed you. Malcolm X. That's my sign off.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Dean, you got one, bro?
I don't want to like everything just sounds like it's just being said differently. I think it's being said, but just different. I ain't got nothing to say, man.
No. Listen, if you don't, no. Just ask.
The story is told a
Stop shouting me
million
out, man.
times.
What Kanye said? My presence is a present. Kiss my ass.
I guess as I normally close out, and like I like to say often, and I say it, I guess I try not to run it into the ground and stuff like that. But
Nah, run it straight to the ground.
I know people like to say that we talk about black representation and, you know, Black History Month is just a month and all that other stuff and why do we need it and all that stuff. And I just want to let you know that there's nothing wrong with taking time out of a year, of a space in time, space in man-made constructs to just look at some of the problems, some of the triumphs, some of the trials, and some of the things that make us have to think and want to move forward in a more positive light in a way that we've ever done before. I want to just say that I'm grateful that we take this time to make sure that we're looking at the numerator that sits on top of the denominator. Because if all lives are supposed to matter, then black lives have to. And that's 100% a fact. And I will never change from that stance. I will never act like it doesn't mean anything. And I won't act like we don't need to see more of ourselves in places of positive light in the things that we like in the media that we consume. And so, as I always say, black lives will always matter. Happy Black History Month to you and your family and all those who you know who have skin that looks like ours and hair that curls the same. Stay safe in the corona times. And as always, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.